Changing the narrative, that was the message tonight as dozens of men of color came together for fellowship after a string of gun violence in Lexington's East End over the last month. WKYT's Chad Hedrick was at tonight's event where they say they want to see the city to come together, be banded together for the good of the community. And he's joining us tonight in studio with our top story at 11.
Well, Bill, this is part of One Lexington's 100 Black Men of Lexington. It started back in October of 2021 when One Lexington shot a PSA about standing in solidarity to keep neighborhoods safe. This comes after a difficult month of violence on the city's East End. It's a fellowship to turn things around in a community that has been plagued with violence.
We just don't have too many spaces where men, especially men of color, can come together in a positive atmosphere, love on each other, fellowship.
One Lexington's 100 Black Men of Lexington joining forces to celebrate each other and provide resources for growth.
To see strong men that's willing to step up and make a difference in their community, that's a huge thing.
The group met Thursday outside William Wells Brown Elementary. The school is in the heart of the city's East End and just blocks away from where police investigated 3 shootings and a double homicide in April.
We got a lot of people that live in these neighborhoods that are impacted by gun violence every single night that are also putting in work.
Speakers addressing mental health, second chances, and support all shared their stories to signal hope. One Lexington leaders also want the community to know they are working daily to make sure the area is not overlooked.
That is our responsibility and that is our passion. That is our passion. We wake up daily looking for ways that we can impact our community by using city and government resources.
Resolutions to bring people and neighborhoods together and not tear them apart with violence. And when Mayor Linda Gorton presented her budget last month, she said the city is looking to expand One Lexington, saying the group has proven to be essential in the broader approach to public safety. Gorton says they have increased funding for grants to community groups that work with One Lexington and adds they are seeing results with the drop in gun-related homicides among youth since 2021.